Good morning, guys. I'm back here again with the reading of text Women of Troy, and today I'm on page 14, and this is a new episode, episode one, and because it's the entry of a new character called Talthybus, and the setting says, "Enter Talthybus with guards." So Talthybus is actually a Greek messenger, a Greek herald, and he is coming with a group of officers. And the dialogue starts like this: Hecuba, you are not unaware that on many occasions, as officer in charge of negotiations or outlining our proposals, I have come here from the Greek camp. So I'm no stranger. Talthybus, you may remember me. I have some news for you. So here Talthybus know Hecuba really well because they have met each other in the earlier war and they are good friends. They are good friends. And that's why he says, I have come here from the Greek camp, so I'm no stranger. Talthybus, you may remember me. So he actually believes that Hecuba would remember Talthybus. And then says Hecuba, and look at the way, or look at the speech. It's more respectful. It actually indicates that Talthybus, the Greek messenger, is actually respecting Hecuba, even though she is not technically a queen anymore. So still, we could see that respect from Talthybus' part at that moment. And I have also noticed the ellipsis. Euripides actually uses ellipsis. I hope you know what do you mean by ellipsis. So there is a frequent use of ellipsis. And what do you think Euripides might have used that ellipsis as a literary technique in his Women of Troy? There are different interpretations. I think it is more to suggest that he is actually uncomfortable with what he is actually doing, like about the task that he is about to do. He's really uncomfortable with that, so that's why that ellipsis. Or we could say that this could also be interpreted as like prevarication. We don't know whether he's prevarication means whether something that deviates actually from the truth. So we don't know. You can interpret it in different ways, but make sure that you're writing it down. Ellipsis, the use of ellipsis is mainly to show the uncomfortable nature of Talthybus, especially in delivering this task. So make a note of that. Now Hecuba says, "This is it, my dears, what we have feared for so long. Talthybus, you have been allocated to your masters, if that is what you are afraid of. So if you're really afraid of, yes, you have been allocated to your masters." And look at the word allocated. That allocated, the use of that word allocated actually shows that, or that actually indicates that they are going to view the women as property, not as a person, just as a property. So he announces that they all have been officially assigned to masters, officially assigned to different masters, to Greek masters. So even though, so that formal respect that you saw in Talthybus's entry, still in this line, when he says you have been allocated to your masters, if that's what you're afraid of, we could see his boldness. He is really bold and he's strong. So Talthybus says, yes, you have been allocated to his masters. So his orders bring them more pain and remind them that they are no longer fully people, but property. So that's what Talthybus, and that might be the reason why Talthybus was actually uncomfortable, and that might be why Euripides indicated that through ellipsis. Hecuba, a, so a that is more like a cry. Where then? Phthia, somewhere else in Thessaly, or is it to be Thebes, Cadmus's city? Talthybus, you are allocated separately, not all together. So here, Talthybus makes it clear that you guys, all of you are actually allocated separately, not all together. So the women the women has actually been expecting to be taken to the same place by, like to a single place as a single group. But now Talthybus makes it clear that no, you are actually allotted separately. Each woman assigned to different man. So that that particular message is a bit more hard for the women of Troy to accept because they're going to be separated again. Even in that pain, still they're going to be separated. Hecuba. So who goes to whom? Which of the women of Troy has been lucky and will dance for joy? So again, lots of question marks without answer, lots of questions, and you could see lots of question marks, lots of questions with no proper answers. Talthybus, the fact is, again, ellipsis, ask one at a time, not all at once. Again, we could see that uh, Talthybus is actually doing his duty and he is being very bold and he is very mature in delivering his message and delivering his message to the women of Troy. And he says that the fact is, ask once at a time, ask one question at a time, not all at once. Now, yeah, I can't give you answers for all this. You have to ask it one by one. Hecuba, my poor child who has won her, Cassandra, my God-stricken daughter. Now, Hecuba is actually worried about her own daughter, Cassandra, who was already raped by Ajax. So she is actually worried about Cassandra because we know that she is a special person, she is a fancy person, and that's why Hecuba is more protective of her daughter, Cassandra. So Cassandra, Hecuba is mainly worried about Cassandra here. Talthybus, Agamemnon made a special note of her and took her for himself. So Talthybus makes it clear to Hecuba that no, your Cassandra, your daughter, is going to be a sex slave for Agamemnon because Agamemnon have made a special note of her. Hecuba, ah God, but must she be a slave to his Spartan wife, her bond servant for life? So Hecuba was really, really worried about Cassandra. Talthybus, not at all. She is for him in darkness in his bed. So he makes it very clear that Cassandra will be Agamemnon's slave, like a sex slave, not just for him. She is just for him in darkness in his bed with him. So here, Hecuba actually wonders whether her daughter Cassandra will go. So Talthybus actually says that Agamemnon has actually claimed her as a sex slave, and Hecuba is completely, she's distraught. She is distraught. Not only will Agamemnon take Cassandra's agency, but even her sexual demands will ruin her ability to get married later. Because as you know, in classical Greece, a woman's virginity a woman's virginity is actually an essential component of her identity and is directly tied to her ability or eligibility as a wife. So virginity was really important, especially in Athenian society, Greece, classical Greece, Greek society. They gave more importance to that. And now here, Hecuba is distraught about her daughter Cassandra. What? She is a consecrated virgin, Apollo's nun. Lifelong virginity she was promised by Zeus's golden-haired son. So Hecuba makes it clear that she couldn't fathom it, and she says that she is actually a consecrated virgin. Lifelong virginity was actually promised to her by Zeus's golden-haired son. Who is Zeus's golden-haired son? Definitely it is Apollo. Talthybus says he wants her because she is sacred. Now, Talthybus makes it clear that the reason why Agamemnon wants Cassandra is because she is sacred. He is shot through with lust. So Talthybus clearly indicates that Agamemnon is shot through with lust. Hecuba, throw away the keys of the temple, my child. Strip off your sacred habit. Trample the flowers on the ground. So Hecuba is actually saying to Cassandra, throw away the keys of the temple, my child. Strip off your sacred habit. You are no more a virgin. You're not going to be a virgin again. So Cassandra's fate is so horrific that Hecuba calls upon her too. So it is so horrific that she calls upon her too. Throw away the keys of the temple, my child, and strip off your sacred habit. Trample the flowers on the ground. Trample, it's a beautiful imagery. Trample the flowers on the ground. So which actually shows that her virginity will be completely lost. Now, Talthybus says, now look here, to be a king's mistress is no bad thing. So that's what Talthybus says. Now look here, to be a king's mistress is no bad thing. So here, actually, although Talthybus perhaps feels sympathy for the women, he may have felt some kind of sympathetic attitude towards women, but still he cannot comprehend the cruelty of his Greek soldiers, cruelty of his Greek leaders' actions, especially that lack of comprehension can be actually seen in Talthybus's response. See, look here, to be a king's mistress is not such a bad thing. So he's making it clear that. So that actually shows that he cannot completely comprehend the cruelty and the brutality of his Greek soldiers, of his Greek masters, of his masters. Perhaps maybe because of his gender, he does not understand how like violating forced marriage and such kind of things can actually hurt people. He maybe because of his gender, so you can have different kind of interpretations for that. Talthybus, Hecuba, and my youngest child. Where is she? You tore her from my arms. Now she is wondering about the youngest child. Talthybus, Polyxena, you mean, or is it someone else? Again, look at the ellipsis. Polyxena, you mean, or is it someone else? Talthybus, Hecuba. Yes, who gets her by the luck of the draw? Now tell me about my other child, Polyxena. What's happening to her? Who's getting her? Talthybus. She is to serve Achilles at his tomb. So Talthybus makes it clear that she is to serve. She's going to serve Achilles at his tomb. Now, when prompted for news about Polyxena, Talthybus actually engages in a very diplomatic evasion, claiming that she is to serve Achilles at his tomb and that her troubles are over. He says that in page 16, that his troubles are over. So, as revealed in the prologue, Polyxena has already been murdered and murdered at Achilles' tomb. Since we know that, the audience know that the prologue, through the prologue we know that, but this is a completely new news to Hecuba. And here Talthybus is trying to use a more like a euphemistic language. He doesn't want to make it clear that Polyxena is dead. So it's more like a euphemistic language used by Euripides when Talthybus says that she is to serve Achilles at his tomb. So in fact, Polyxena has died, and Talthybus is actually trying to protect Hecuba from that grief. He is trying to hide that at the moment because he doesn't want to give that one more grief to Hecuba. However, as you know, hiding the truth or hiding the death of one's daughter from her does not erase any kind of horrors of war. It is still painful later when she knows that it is going to be painful anyway. But anyway, Talthybus says that she is to serve Achilles at his tomb. Hecuba, dear heavens, must a child I bore be a servant at a tomb? So Hecuba is not understanding that serving at Achilles' tomb. She can't fathom it. So Hecuba says that, dear heavens, must a child I bore be a servant at a tomb? So she is actually confused. Is this a custom among you Greeks, my friend, or is it some kind of new law? Talthybus, consider your child fortunate. All is well with her. Again, Talthybus is trying to console her by saying that, see, consider your child is actually fortunate. Think that your child is actually fortunate. All is well with her. Hecuba, what does it mean? She is alive, is she? So now Hecuba is having a doubt. Talthybus, her fate is settled. All her troubles are over. Hecuba, and the wife of Hector, the incomparable warrior. What happens to Andromache? What Greeks draw her? Now, what happens to my son's wife? My Hector's wife? What happens to him? The incomparable warrior. You see how Hecuba is actually portraying her own son, that he is an incomparable warrior. What happens to Andromache, my daughter-in-law? What Greeks draw her? Talthybus, she was chosen specifically by the son of Achilles. So he was actually chosen by the son of Achilles. So now Talthybus makes it clear that Andromache is actually taken as a sex slave by Achilles' son. And Achilles' son is Neoptolemus. Okay, Neoptolemus. 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 So he's the son of Achilles. So think again, maybe you should write it down somewhere. Agamemnon takes Cassandra as his sex slave. So Agamemnon, Cassandra. Polyxena, when you think about Polyxena, Polyxena is already dead at Achilles' tomb. Now, when you think about Andromache, Andromache is going to be the sex slave for Achilles' son. And who is he? Neoptolemus. So, Talthybus, she was chosen specifically by the son of Achilles. Now, Hecuba finally asked Talthybus, and whose slave am I? Grey-haired Hecuba, who needs a stick as a third foot to support her. Talthybus, Odysseus, king of Ithaca, drew you as his slave. So Talthybus makes it clear that Odysseus, king of Ithaca, drew you as his slave. So in this episode, you could actually see the different phases of the Greek messenger Talthybus. See, at first he is a bit respectful, and then we know that he is going to do his duty in a very bold manner, and he is very strong in giving his commands. But at times he is actually showing two sides of the humanity, the compassionate side as well as doing his duty, because in a way we are forced to think that Talthybus is actually a good man, but it's his duty that is making him to behave like this. So we could see, especially when Hecuba asked about Polyxena on page 15, we could see that he's actually trying to hide. So he's trying, Talthybus is, although Talthybus is technically Hecuba's enemy, he actually respects her enough to try and protect the death of her daughter from from her. But we know, as I told you before, that does not erase any kind of horrors of war. It is still a horror of war, but at least he is trying to calm her down a little bit. Now here, Hecuba, our pain and still more pain. Let me tear the hair in handfuls from my head, plough my face with my nails till the wrinkles run red, still agony and greater agony. I have drawn the shortest straw, even worse than I feared, to be the slave of a man without morality, a liar, a deceiver, to whom laws of gods and men mean nothing, whose animal appetite savages all decency, and whose double tongue twists truth into lies, friendship to enmity. Weep for me, women of Troy, this last lottery of fate will be the end of me. Veil me in shadows, I belong in the deepest pit of misery. Here, Hecuba is actually devastated to learn that Odysseus has actually claimed her for himself. She despises Odysseus, who she believes to be a very slippery person, a treacherous beast, and feels that she has given the worst lot of all. And that's why she says to the women of Troy that, where is that? That's why she says, weep for me, women of Troy. This last lottery of fate will be the end of me. She believes that this her life, the rest of her life is going to be an utter waste. Veil me in shadows, I belong in the deepest pit of mystery. So, although no woman is happy to be enslaved to a man who is her enemy, Hecuba seems to believe that she is being personally singled out and punished by fortune and the gods. That's why she says that she thinks that gods have actually punished her. And that's why she is devastated. She's really sad because she doesn't believe in, or she doesn't have got a high esteem for Odysseus, the king of Ithaca, because she believes that he is a liar, a deceiver, and even a man to whom laws of gods and men mean nothing. And to be a slave for such kind of a person is actually really hard, and that's what Hecuba says, and that's why she is crying out and saying, "Our pain and still more pain." And look at the repetition of the word pain on the first line, and we could see alliteration on third line till the wrinkles run red. So you're getting a beautiful imagery of the distraught Hecuba, especially in that particular passage. And here, chorus on page 16. We know the worst now for you, dear queen, but which of the Greeks has my future in his power? Now, Talthybus. All right, you men, guard detachment, go in there and bring Cassandra out and move it. When I have handed over her to the commander-in-chief, I can take the rest of you enslaved women to your masters according to the allocation. Hey, what is that? Have they got lighted torches in there? Are they setting fire to the place or what? These Trojan women, just because we are taking them from their homes across to Argus. Dear God, are they trying to commit suicide in there? Setting light to themselves to tell the truth. These are proud people. In circumstances like these, they don't take kindly to humiliation. All right, open up in there. It may suit their dignity to insult the Greeks like this, but I shall have to carry the can. So here, Talthybus is actually trying to do his duty, and Talthybus says, "All right, you men." So he's saying to the other guards, "Go in and bring out Cassandra." So Talthybus actually calls forth Cassandra. He has been ordered to bring her to Agamemnon as soon as possible. That was the order. So within the tent, at that time, within the tent, a torch flares, and Talthybus wonders what it actually means. He suspects even that the Trojan women are actually setting the tent to fire and themselves on fire rather than go to Greece. So he actually thinks that are they actually trying to suicide? So that actually shows that he recognizes that their position is really bleak and that death seems like an attractive alternative for them. So he can understand that that might be the reason why he's even thinking like that. So he is actually sympathetic to their cause, but hopes they will not burn themselves. He knows because he knows that it's his duty to bring them to the masters. So he knows he will be punished if any of the women earmarked for his Greek masters have actually earmarked for the Greek masters will die. So he's really worried about that. So it's his duty to protect them and take them to their masters. And that's why he's really worried and he's anxious at that time. That's why he's saying, are they setting fire to the place or what? And again, there is a sentence when Talthybus says, to tell the truth, these are proud people. In circumstances like these, they don't take kindly to humiliation. So, as I told you earlier, although earlier Talthybus has actually wondered if it is really so awful that Cassandra was being married to Agamemnon, in this moment he fully understands their anguish, and he calls them as proud people. To tell the truth, these are a proud people. So he actually understands their situation at this moment and he is compassionate to them, but at the same time, he is worried about his duty and he is so keen in doing his task. So that's really important. So keep that in mind. Hecuba says here, no, no one is setting fire to anything. It is my poor manic daughter, Cassandra. She's out here. So Hecuba makes it clear that no, don't worry. It's no one. No one is trying to suicide or anything. It's just my poor daughter, Cassandra. She is running out here.